Shouldn't have eaten that ice cream last night.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to some daily content where we get to watch me suffer through a workout. This is actually my first workout back from the 2019 CrossFit Games, so don't sit here and think you're gonna see something absolutely amazing. It's probably not gonna impress you whatsoever. So without further ado, let's go and get started. We are off in 3, 2, 1, getting it. What are we doing here? We have a 9-minute time cap on the clock. Andrew decided, hey, we're gonna have a little fun. This is actually Friday night. I don't know, don't ask me what day it is, but like whatever, Friday, August 9th or 10th or whatever it is. So this is my first workout back, and so we're doing a little fun kind of, this is actually kind of a pretty close representation of a games actual workout. Like this is a games workout, considering we're gonna be using the pig. So we are doing a 9-minute time cap on the clock. We're doing a 50 calorie bike erg into 20 pig flips. You see the pig right in front of me, and then back to the bike for a 50 calorie bike erg. Let's talk about the actual, like let's say if you're a female doing this, maybe not 50, maybe like 40 calories in the bike erg for the beginning and the end. The pig, actually we can watch Andrew actually do the pig. So the pig is actually built and based on the first year they did the pig at the games, which I believe was 2013, I think. So 2013 they had this kind of pig look just like this. And then when I went to the games in 2014, they did not have one. And I think in 2015 they had one, but it was like a big sleeve. And I'm really not sure what it looked like inside the sleeve, but I'm pretty sure it looked pretty similar to that. But in 2012 or 13, the pig actually looked just like this. I had someone actually make it a friend of mine, James Eslao, who did my rig, actually made this pig for me. You might be wondering what it's actually loaded at. So right now, the pig weighs about 300 pounds, I think, 350. And then if you add, I have 245 plates on a side, so I have, 180 pounds on there. You might be asking yourself, okay, well, what does the actual pig weigh? It's actually a really good question because it's really hard to estimate that because you don't really pick up the whole pig off the floor, right? You don't ever like grab the whole pig and pick out the floor. There is always a portion of the pig you're flipping or rotating over, and you're using kind of leverage and physics there. And so it's really hard to guesstimate like what it actually weighs. The other thing you might be asking is, hey, why do you have the plates in the middle and not on the edges, the other poles? Which is a great question because we have 4 on there because we should have 1 on each spoke and nothing in the middle. And the reason for it is because when you flip it, if you look at it, the corner that hits the ground first, it has a bracer there, but in the beginning it didn't, and so it kind of started bending and it would hit the plates, and so we actually can't put that plate in there because it's bent so much. There's like one corner where you can't put a plate in there, so you put the plates in the middle since the bracer was there, but it still is, that much force going down in like one corner of that pig, the corner that hits the ground first, ended up bending the metal and not allowing us to put a plate there. So, but anyway, so we're doing 20 pig flips. I'm not really sure what I'm at right now. Let's see if I'm starting there. This is probably gonna be 5. So if I finish the bike in around 220, 230, and I probably need 220 and 230 at the end, that gives me about 4 minutes to do pig flips. That gives me I need to do about 5 pig flips a minute. And in the beginning, you're gonna see that's what it's gonna look like. The hard part about a pig, the hard part about this homemade pig is the idea that the bottom, if you look at the top of them, or every single like face that hits the ground, that's not metal. That's not a metal strip there. That's actually a strip of like a mat you use on a gym floor. And it's meant there because you don't want the metal hitting the ground because it's so loud. So it's kind of a sound dampening idea. But also on top of it, that gap between that mat and the metal, there's like an inch gap there. That allows you to get your fingers in there so you can actually pick it up. So if you look where I'm doing, if you look where my fingers are going, it's going in that little gap between the metal and the floor. And it's only there because of the horse stall mat. Well, the problem is, when you keep flipping this thing, the more I flip this thing, the more I use it, the less of a gap there ends up being there because it ends up bending a little bit every time. Small increments, but there's a very small gap there. So you're actually gonna see that side I just did is actually really easy because the gap's really large, But this side over here that I'm gonna start right now actually is gonna start taking a lot longer because it's hard for me to get my fingers underneath the pig because it's just not there. So if you're noticing like, okay, that took a little bit longer to get underneath it, I will walk around and pretty much just pick it right up because I have a larger gap there for my fingers. And that was the issue they actually had in the 2013 games when they had the pig, is because it actually kept bending and it wasn't built for that. So I don't know what the pig in 2015 actually looked like underneath the sleeve. I believe they actually, they had some way where it didn't bend like that. I'm not sure what it looked like. They probably had like a large pole going vertical that actually inhibited it from bending altogether. And that's actually what I should have done. But you know, the gentleman who made this didn't know that it was gonna happen like that. You know, he couldn't have guessed. So anyways, I'm not sure what number we're on. We're probably nearing the halfway point or a little bit past halfway. But I am taking my jolly good sweet time because I get a hard time getting my fingers underneath there. Andrew's gonna go after me and do this workout. I don't have his film though. But Ellie, you see Olivia running back and forth. She's getting ready, training for her Open this year. This will be the first year she can do the Open in the 14-15 age division. She'll actually be 14, I believe, in December. So she's still 13, but the rules are that you can still do, as long as you're 14 within this year, calendar year, I believe, you can still do the 14-15 age division. So this will be the first time she can do the Open in, geez, the 2 years she's been training with me. So she's stoked to be able to do the Open. And usually when we have her do the Open, in years past, she does she does Ellie's weight, which is the 16-17 age division. And so she's gonna have a good time doing the 14-15 age weight and probably crushing it. I'm probably not gonna keep up with her whatsoever, not even in the slightest. So we should be nearing the end here. So let's real briefly talk about maybe some scaling options, and then we'll get into options if you're a guy or a girl. Actually, let's do the guy and girl first. So females, I'd probably do like 40 calories in the bike for the beginning and the end. And then the pig, if you have it, I would probably take off, if you have a pig, I'd probably take off one of those 45-pound plates and replace it with like a 15. So I wouldn't, instead of 4 45-pound plates, I would have 2 45-pound plates and 2 15s essentially. So overall, it'd be like 60 pounds less. That's about right. Let's talk about the idea if you don't have a pig. If you do not have a pig, which most people don't, most people do not have a pig, I would treat it as a power clean. I would pretty much change the workout to be a 50 calorie bike erg, 9-minute time cap, 50 calorie bike erg, 20 power cleans at 225 for the males, and then I don't do females weight in my head very well, whatever the females weight for 225 usually is. So 20 power cleans at 225, and then a 50 calorie bike erg. If you don't have a pig, that's what I'd recommend. It's a probably pretty close representation. I mean, that's as close as you can probably get. Unless you have a tire, if you happen to have like a tire to do tire flips, then it just comes down to the idea of, okay, how hard is it for you to flip your tire? If your tire is really, really easy to flip, then maybe you should do a little more than 20. If it's really, really hard, difficult, like we have a couple tires here at our gym. One is humongous and it takes it out of you. And so I would not be able to do 20 and even close to it. But if we had a smaller one, I might do quite a bit more reps. So if I use the big one, I would do less. Kind of, bear that in mind, keep the intensity the same. Scaling this workout, if you happen to have all these pieces of equipment, you're like, I really want to do this workout, but I really don't know how to scale this, I would just scale the bike down. Actually, you know what? I'd probably keep the bike the same, and I would just lower the reps on the pig, is what I'd probably recommend, because the bike is really meant to stress you in the beginning and then stress you at the end. So I just lower the reps on the pig. So if you happen to have a pig and you do want to scale it, I might knock it down by like reps of 5. So I might do 50 calorie bike erg for a male and maybe 15 pig flips, then back to 50. Keep the bike the same. I do not finish this workout. I believe I get to, at the 9-minute time cap, which is coming up, I get to 43 calories on the bike erg. I think right now I'm biking at like a 1450 or a 1500 at the end. Trying my best to make it, but I don't. That mainly came down to, I in the beginning could hold 5 a minute on the pig, but near the end with that side being bent, it just became so difficult for me to put my fingers underneath that stupid thing that it became difficult to move up. And that issue was fixed with the follow-on progressions of the pig in 2015, which was really easy to use compared to this one. But in the newer version or the older version of the pig, or this homemade version of the pig, it's really difficult because of the ability to get your hands underneath it.
shouldn't have eaten that ice cream last night.
So that's really it, guys. It's the first workout back from the games, a little fun one to have a good time. That was on Friday. I'm sorry, that was on Saturday. I'm sorry, that wasn't, was it Saturday? That was Saturday, I believe. That was on Saturday, so appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to watch a video similar to this, click right here. Other than that, talk to you guys later. See ya!